Aloha, welcome to PropheChic this last day of May 31st, 2018. Don't be scared, be prepared. There's a whole lot of shaking and earthquaking going on here in Hawaii, which it makes it more timely to say God is shaking us up and waking us up before he gets to taking us up. I also want to remind you in a timely reminder, devil's three D vices: deception, which is lies, John 8:44, you are children of your father, the father of lies, Satan. And then deception, division, the oldest rule in the book of war, which happens to be the Bible, is division, divide and conquer. He did it to Adam and Eve right there in the Garden of Eden, and he divided them in the ultimate divorce from God. Deception, division, and distraction, because distraction is destruction. If you look right, he'll pop you left. Watch out. The top two headlines this week, what do you think they are? I'll tell you two different versions to the answer of this question. Number one, top two headlines, according to the mainstream media and how much they report on it, is number one, Roseanne Barr's offensive racist tweet, and yes, it was bad. And number two is Bruno Mars is coming to Hawaii, so the world will sell it out at Aloha Stadium. Fake news alert, fake news, fake news. The top two real headlines, according to God's book, is number one, Israel was bombed over 100 times by Hamas, which is Iran's terror arm, via the Gaza Strip. Now, you may see it, you're going to see Roseanne Barr so many times in the newsfeed. You're going to see Bruno Mars so many times in the newsfeed. But maybe once or twice you might see a mention of Israel. And the way they spin it and lie is they'll say, Palestinians killed mercilessly by the Israeli army. The Israeli army was defending the wall. They warned the Palestinians not to get close to that wall. They even planted a bomb there, are using fire kites, human beings as human shields and human bombs. It's such a spin on the true story. Please have eyes to see the truth. This is now being called an open war between Iran and the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that they will take preemptive measures to defend themselves, or as they also say, if Iran makes it rain, we'll make it flood. Number two headline, according to God's headlines, is that England has thrown a journalist in prison for reporting on rabid child rape by Muslims in their country. This is censorship and illegal. Even the rapists get a fair trial and get to go home, and this man did not. Tommy Robinson was quickly thrown into prison for 13 months. That's a year and a month. This is the book 1984 coming to reality. Please read George Orwell's 1984. They are burying the truth and revising or rewriting history. It's amazing that this terror is coming to us in the stealing of truth. So number one, for us, prophetically speaking, first of all, we must keep our eyes on Israel, which is the prophetic midnight on God's prophetic clock. It is the apple of God's eye, and therefore it is the bullseye of Satan's wrath. But people are being force-fed a false news, a false narrative, and fake news by the mainstream, lamestream media, that Palestinians are victims of Israeli violence. Yes, they are victims of Iran, who uses Hamas terrorists to take people hostage and use them as human shields and human bombs. That is the truth. They even bombed an Israeli, this week with 100 bombs, an Israeli kindergarten, and thank God, by the grace of God, was empty at the time that the bomb hit. Humans are forced to do the terrorist's will and become injured and die, even little babies and children. Please see the truth here. You are being led astray, most people. And understand that we are being deceived, divided, and distracted. By Roseanne Barr? Really? A failed TV actress who's a complete leftist, anti-Christian woman? By Bruno Mars, who is not a man of God? By social media selfies, by gaming. And this week they released a game that encourages not just violence, but school shooting. You are on campus as a school shooter. It gives you a body count of how many kids you've killed and how many cops are on campus. Really? Wake up and smell the prophetic coffee. Wake up, bride of Christ. Wake up, warriors of the Most High God. Now more than at any other time in history, including the time of Jesus Christ, we are called to pray and to agape, to love one another, because Jesus said the love of many will grow cold. Please pray and agape and be about the Father's business. Let me do a few quick other stories that are on the newswire to see with God's eyes, to see prophetically. I will call these prophecy puzzle pieces that are coming together and fulfilling. According to the Associated Press on Wednesday, 2 U.S. Navy warships did an operation in the South China Sea on Saturday within 12 miles of the Chinese islands, China-controlled islands. Actually, I should tell you that Vietnam has those islands, but they were forcibly taken by China and claimed in the 70s. China sent their own warships to drive the U.S. away. We are getting closer and closer to Gog, Magog, Ezekiel 38, World War III. And in news here in Hawaii, lava levels continue to escalate. Ash explosions as high as 16,000 feet, lava fountains of 500 feet high, and lava projectiles, some lava bombs possibly as big as a cow, the scientists are warning us. People are being forced to move due to highly dangerous and poisonous conditions. Over 400 people reported this morning in 3 shelters on the Big Island. Mayor Harry Kim saying, "We have a tremendous housing problem on our hands." Also here in Hawaii, political campaigns starting, and we see signs in many yards and roads. Same people, same Democrat Party, same results. Now what does that get us? More taxes and more traffic. You know it, we live it. Highest cost of living and the highest homelessness in the nation. In the nation. Worst state for doctors. We all know because everyone from outer islands flies to Oahu, and we on Oahu also can't get an appointment for months, if not weeks. Worst state for doctors and the worst state to make a living, 7 years and counting. Yet we keep voting in the same people who are some of the richest in Hawaii. I'm sure that's a coincidence. Elections have consequences. Insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I would say that insanity is voting for the same people and the same party over and over again and expecting a refreshed, renewed Hawaii. No, we're going down the same path, and that path leads to death, not life. Please don't even put their signs on your yard or on your home. Please think about it. In other news, President Trump has granted a pardon to Dinesh D'Souza, who is a conservative commentator. This, unlike England, who just jailed a journalist for freely reporting the truth. He has released this guy that President Obama administration allowed to be sentenced in 2014 to 5 years of probation on unjust charges. According to World News Daily, the Supreme Court of the United States will consider the case of a school district that took away the rights of the privacy rights of a vast majority of students to provide special rights to a few. And in lighter news and entertainment, or is it really lighter? Because entertainment is a massive multi-billion-dollar industry and demonic distraction. But according to the BBC, Papua New Guinea is banning Facebook for a month so it may identify fake profiles and consider the effects Facebook has on its country. Interesting that the U.S. doesn't have the same liberty. Life expectancy in the U.S. went down for the 3rd time in as many years. Centers for Disease Control says it's directly related to opioid abuse. Meanwhile, the Associated Press reports today that a 2016 survey of over 3,000 Americans found that baby boomers fear running out of savings more than death. Now, as I conclude, remember again and refresh, please share the truth with your friends. The devil's 3 devices include deception, division, and distraction. Don't get distracted. In fact, God's guidelines in answer to those 3 cure for the demonic devices is number 1, it's not deception, it's truth. Number 2, it's not division, it's togetherness, stay together. And number 3, it is not distracted, it is to stay focused, to remain faithful, to stay steadfast and strong in your faith. Please continue to pray and agape one another, as Romans 12:21 says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil by doing good." That's as simple as it gets. Just do good in God's great name and his love. God bless you, Godspeed, and aloha.